Hey guys, it's the FPL Test team and we're back with another football video. This video will be covering the European competition, the Euro 2024. We're really excited to do this. We're going to do this throughout the European competition, so make sure you like and subscribe. And in this video, we'll straight dive into sort of a preview for Group A and B. But first, welcome Akhilesh.
Welcome, thank you. Um, I'm excited to join in this part of the season. It's a little bit more chill, a little light, and a lot of football content. Yeah, I'm excited for the Euros to start soon.
Yeah, I am. It's almost upon us. About like 2 weeks now. From now, we start with the European competition. Let's get our viewers directly into Group A and B. Obviously, people know, but how the groups look like. Although we still want to uh, share it with everyone and let them know that how the group looks like overall. So here's how the groups look like. Here's Group A, B, C, D, and E. Obviously, today we're going to discuss Group A and B. So let's get in the initial thoughts, Akhilesh. What do you think?
Good groups. I think Group B is definite to one to watch out for. Group D also looks like a tricky one. Maybe from France look clear, but other than that, I think there are some good competitive teams. And yeah, I think other than that, Germany have fairly comfortable group. And I mean, although there is some sort of pedigree in the other teams, and they will be the host, they will be backing that. I think Belgium also have a fairly comfortable group as well. And Portugal, who've come in brilliant form, have a good group for themselves. And finally, England, I think they have a couple of decent teams, but again, I think Germany, Belgium, Portugal, and England have good groups for it to
Yeah.
an extent, France as well. So I feel Group B is the group which we will be discussing today. Should have the uh, most attention to it in the group stages at least.
So how do you think
But
Group
we
A
can
is
start.
going to end?
Yeah, let's start with Group A. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not an easy group to predict directly. I think there are three teams who are all capable of doing well on their days, which is Scotland, Hungary, and Switzerland. And Germany, I don't think it's a given first spot, although they will be favorites to finish in the first spot of Group A. And also giving them the home advantage, I think I will put them on top. Second, I personally think, given how they've set up and how different they've played over the last few years, like yeah, last year or two, I think I'll put Scotland at second. And I think between Hungary and Switzerland, I'm more impressed with what Hungary have done in the European qualification. They've been very, very impressive. They've been unbeaten throughout the European competition. So I'll put them at third, and then I'll put Switzerland at fourth. So whatever the order it is on the screen right now, I think I'll choose the same order on how the group will end.
That's interesting because I had a different order. I obviously believe that Germany will finish first. But regarding second, third, and fourth, I'm certainly different in terms of opinion. I agree that Hungary have like really outdone what in terms of football they play. They play really an attacking sort of football. They are usually in a all on attack. Let's score more goals. They've averaged over 2 goals per match now in the last 10,
Yes,
15 games. So they're
yes,
sort of the attacking team in the group, and I really expect them to finish maybe second or third. But in sort of my rankings, I really think Scotland does not have that attacking pedigree. They have a decent sort of midfield and backline combined, and sort of in a back five, sort of mid to low block. I really don't think they can really do it and come second in this group. Switzerland, yes, they have the same sort of tactical approach. They're very defensively good. They usually are sort of the dark horses of the tournament. They usually make it. I don't think they'll make it to the quarter. They could end up second or third. Depends on how Hungary would perform. I don't think Scotland makes it through this group. I really believe that they'll make it fourth.
uh, I mean, I think they have improved quite a bit. So that's my sole reasoning, and I do see that they don't have a finisher or a go-to man, a striker. I think
Yeah,
Che Adams has been inconsistent. Lyndon Dykes has been. I mean, he's been picked to be Scotland's striker for the Euros, but he's been injured. Then I don't. He's also not been very consistent. And their top scorer, guess who? It's been Scott McTominay. I think he's now a talisman for Scotland of sorts, and he probably will be the go-to guy again to get them the goals, because I think he did at a point in their group they had beaten Spain, and Spain was have been brilliant. Other than that, they lost 1-0
Yeah,
to Scotland in the European qualifications, and I think Scotland were really good that day. Scotland have upped their game, and they seem to have that pedigree to challenge some big teams. That being said, I think yeah, I think they it's not the same with teams sort of in their own their own level,
group.
and
Yeah,
but I still back them to back it up, because I see them having a very solid midfield, and yeah, their setup doesn't necessarily need a goal scoring striker as such. If players like McGinn and McTominay can back up some goals,
okay.
so that's why I
I
have them second.
Yeah, it's sort of that midfield that really glues in. But let's go team by team. Obviously, let's quickly discuss our table toppers. We really believe that after what happened to them in the last World Cup and the last Euros, they will bounce back. It's their home soil. They're sort of also one of the favorites to win this competition, and there is fairly enough reason for them to be considered. So we'll take a look at the Germany's official squad. We'll look at the first team in the group. Here's how they put out their squad, and the first thing you notice is there are too many big names. There are obviously huge big names, and some of them are almost at the peak of their form. You see, Rich, San is good, Musiala is really good. Cruz just won the Champions League, he's doing good. Mueller is good. Fulkerg has been really good. You see a lot of big names who have just performed, who are in form, and they're sort of the favorites also to say by a lot of fans, and for right reasons. So Nagelsmann has figured out his 11. There are a couple of positions which are out. We sort of got that going, and I think Germany has a really strong squad to go ahead with.
Yeah, I think they do. I think they're back to. I think Tah has been brilliant this season, and Rudiger is very solid. I think their two centre backs start that for their team, and they have a decent. And they have Kimmich at right back, and they have what's his name? Yeah, Mittelstadt, who's been brilliant again for
Yeah,
Stuttgart this
Maximilian. Yeah,
season. Him at left back. I think they're good over there. The interesting thing I think is for two players, towards three. I don't think Muller is retiring after the Euros. Maybe he plays the World Cup, but mainly for two guys who probably have their last tournament in Germany's golden generation team, which is Manuel Neuer and Toni Kroos. I think spotlight
yeah,
will pretty much be on them. And it'll be interesting to see if Neuer again after a injury layoff still pips over Ter Stegen, which I'm not too sure. I think Ter Stegen might still start most of the games. Will he come in and affect the team? That's something pretty interesting. And Tony Cruz, I think he's still at the top of his footballing levels. I think he's finishing on a high. What better way to finish on a high than winning the Champions League and then following it up with the Euro? I think he will be pretty much in the spotlight all this season. And I think the other guy who we can talk about is Gundogan, who's also very important for them. Uh, who probably will be playing as an attacking midfielder, and we've seen in the past with Germany, with City, even with Barcelona, how he can affect the game from an attacking midfielder point of view. How we can pip in with those goals, important goals as well. So yeah, I think these are the guys you have to keep an eye on.
yeah, and I agree. In fact, for me, the two great players in there, like two players to watch out for, obviously is Rich. Florian Rich, he's been absolutely phenomenal. He's sort of the player that can tuck in, can shoot, can score goals, can dribble with the ball. And the second player I'm really impressed and I'm really looking forward to is Robert Andrich. He's just phenomenal. When he's proper Samuel Khedira sort of replacement as a CDM, he will really, like, you
Yes.
see the weakness in the last two competitions for Germany was that they were conceding a lot of goals, and especially on the counter attacks. There's nobody to screen that defense. This guy can
Yes.
do absolutely that. He's phenomenal at doing that, and I think that will make a huge difference because now they can sort of push men ahead. They can play that sort of free flowing football on like the third half of the pitch and try to score more goals, which they really believe to do.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I think
Okay.
I agree with you. I think
Yeah.
the Leverkusen guys do add a lot of strength to this team. I think Words definitely has had a brilliant season, and he's going to start over Leroy Sané. And I think Leroy Sané has
Yeah.
had a small dip over the latter half of the season, but he's still a great, very very good player. And he's going to start over Leroy Sané, which shows how good he's been. And yeah, and then towards the end of the season, even Kai Havertz has been in such good form. So I think we'd expect him to start at striker, not at left back.
Wait.
So
I, I'll just
let's
pull up the 11, the fan 11 sort of. I brought this up from Twitter.
yes,
This is what we call the fan 11. And who do you think doesn't justify a place here? I think it is actually a really strong squad to go ahead with. I really feel that
yeah. I mean,
Musiala and Rich should start over Sane. I believe that.
I agree. I agree. I think Musiala and Wirtz are
I know
just
I
like
wouldn't make a change over here. Yeah.
young and exciting. I don't think I'll make a change. Probably the change would be maybe if Neuer is not too ready, if the Stegen comes in. But other than that, I
Yeah.
don't think I can make a strong change over here. I think this is a strong team. This has been the team which has been starting for Germany, and I think that's one of the important things in a relatively small competition like the Euros, where you need to have like a strong set 11, and you don't need to like keep changing your 11
Yeah.
uh,
I don't think you have chance to
in
experiment here.
games. I think for a smaller tournament, having a strong 11 is very very good. I think they look strong as an 11.
Because you've seen like certain games where Havertz is playing left back. He's tried out there, but I think with Maximilian there in that slot, they've just fixed that spot. I think they fixed that problem. You can make a case where Fulker could start on top. He's really sturdy. He makes those runs. He even drops down. You saw in the UCL final, he was dropping deep, can hold up the ball. I think Havertz does have those abilities, but Fulker is just more sturdy. So that's sort of the position I have in debate in my mind, but the rest looks absolutely perfect.
Yes, yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah,
Um,
I
yeah,
will
I
move
think
on to
if
the
there's not much to talk about Germany, let's move on to the next team.
yeah the
Uh,
next team, the next squad I have, which is Scotland. As rightly said, they play in a very sort of deep 5-4-1 up top with Che Adams. Uh, do you really think they make a difference? I think a right sort of defense with Ralston on that side and just the entire right side, even with McGinn sort of dropping or pushing ahead when and not dropping enough, is sort of weak. I really believe the right side of the defense is really weak. You've seen that exposed in the previous matches as well. And the larger problem is Gilmore hasn't had too many games at the best level in Europe right now. Uh, McTominay obviously is really good in terms of form. He was really good for United in terms of attacking at times, scoring crucial goals. But again, do you really rely on a striker like Che Adams on such a big stage against the best teams in the world? I really don't
yeah,
think
I
that's
mean,
going to happen.
yeah, I don't think their striker is the strongest position. I think they bring in goals from their midfield. I think the Gilmore, McTominay, McKinn are their strength. I think they also I think McGregor has also been impressive this season for
Yeah,
Celtic for Scotland. I think he's definitely there to start. Out of the striker, I'm not sure how fit Lyndon Dykes is. I think he has some sort of an injury, but it's between him or Che Adam, but I don't think it makes a difference. Neither of them are like exciting strikers who can take it to the big stage. I think coming back to the defense,
yeah,
I think Liam Cooper is he there? Is he fit? I'm
yeah.
not sure.
Liam Cooper is. I think he's fit. He started the last friendly, so I don't know why
Uh,
the fans are not expecting him to. But I think Liam Cooper could start. Henry could shift to right centre back. I think Patterson sort of
yeah.
also has a chance in the right spot because that's where they want to fix that the right wing back spot.
Patterson is injured. Patterson is injured, and I think even
Oh,
uh, they had another right back. I'm not remembering. Aaron
yeah.
Hickey. I think he's also injured. They would have made a
Okay.
big difference because I think Aaron Hickey and Nathan Patterson have been decent for their respective clubs and for Scotland as well. I think they would have made a big difference, and them not being
Yeah.
available could be a bit of a blow. But I think other than that, I probably think Henry will play as right centre back and maybe Liam Cooper comes and slots in. They have a few options at defense, but I think they need to find their rhythm, find the solid defensive group. who they can back, and they don't have like a. I think Cooper should be there. He's like a leader over there. I think
Yeah,
he should be
he's sort of
starting.
the leader between the backline. I
Uh,
mean, Robertson, obviously.
yeah, yeah, Robertson, but Robertson will be playing as a wing back, and he's. I just want a leader at the defense, and I think if that is there, I think they'll push up their wings, and I'm pretty sure
I,
they would
I,
do well. I don't think they'll be having so much of a disappointing campaign.
I
Although
think,
I get
yeah,
into why you have a strong go against them,
biases.
but it
Yeah,
doesn't look it doesn't look too promising. But I think they have the confidence, and as a team they've done well. So I think I back them to probably pip the second spot.
okay. Moving on from your second spot to potentially my second spot, which is the Switzerland sort of 11. Again, this is a fan 11. I haven't really kept up with a lot of Swiss football, but I know it's again one of those teams which is just good defensively. You look at the Kanji, Skar, Sommer, obviously always good. Zaka and midfield would be good. Zakaria was decent. The Shakiri, the Swaggart. What do you think? I don't think they make. It's sort of the same template sort of squad. They will play the same style of football. It's not going to be very different. But does their group suit them? I think it suits slightly more to Hungary because they are more in terms of aggressive attacking, and both and Scotland could make a difference because they're very deep lying, and Switzerland might just find it tough to break them through. What do you think?
I think they have a good bunch of very good players
Yeah,
who
they
played at
it
high
always
level.
do. Yeah, yeah,
But like I don't think they've been that solid as a defense. They've conceded quite a few goals in the I compare it compared to the to a lot of other teams in the qualification leading up. I think they've conceded quite a few goals. So I'm not sure how solid they are, but they look solid on paper. Sommer is a guy you can back upon. I think Cher and Akanji are a solid centre back partnership. So they look solid on paper, but I'm not sure how solid they are. I think Shaka
yeah.
is
And
going
they
to be very important
they
in the
finished
midfield.
second
Shaka and
in their
Freuler,
table.
they did finish second in that table, but they conceded 11 goals, which on the average was not was bit uh, given how fairly easy that group was. But yeah, but I think they you can back them because of their setup and how solid they are. But moving on, I think Shaka and Freuler are very important for them. Shaka has been brilliant this season,
Yeah,
and Freuler always comes important when it comes to Switzerland. I think when I've seen them, from what I've seen them before, Zakaria is also. I think that they are three players who probably should be a constant in their midfield, and if that remains to be the case, I think it would be helpful for Switzerland. But I think their attack, as much as we spoke about Scotland as well, I think that's where they lack. I don't think they have a guy to count on and say, I'm not sure Seferovic is retired. I don't think he's there in the squad. Let me just check it out. But I don't think they have a solid striker to back on in that case. So
yeah, they don't. Yeah, but yeah, I still feel that they'll make it through just because how consistent their midfield and backline is. I really believe they're one of the ones who just grind those 1-0s, probably a 2-1 sort of
yes,
games
yes,
in the group
yes.
stage phase and just qualify. And
Yeah,
I
that
think,
being said, I think Shakiri has been pretty impressive for Switzerland whenever he's come. Although he's
yeah,
been
he's always been there.
playing
Yeah,
in the US, I think he's been impressive for Switzerland as always. So maybe they go back to the old force and try to make out results with the old guys. So
yeah.
that's
It
about
could
it
be his
for
last.
Switzerland.
Isn't it his last Euro? I think it is.
Yeah, it
I think for a
probably
lot of
is.
these people, yeah, yeah, it was. Yeah,
Yeah, it should be. So for
but
Sommer,
yeah,
for Share, maybe even
yeah,
for Shaka.
yeah. For Shaka as well, I feel. Yeah, that's what I said for a lot of people. But last team, Hungary, they have a very different style. 5-2-2-2-1, and they're very over reliant on Sloboslai. I really believe that when I watch their highlights, just like extremely over reliant for everything, creation, short chances for like controlling the game at instances. It's just very like if he drops a poor performance, I don't think they can win the game on their own.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he's their guy. He's their talisman, and he's done that for them for over the last few years. He's been driving the team. He's a captain as well, and he has that attitude to uh, to have that thing for Hungary. And I think they've all been very great as a group. So that's helped them pretty
Yeah,
much as well. But I think a lot has come through Soboslai, and he is the guy who should probably be pipped, who should be pipped to be their best player, probably their top scorer as well. And it all depends on how he plays. And I think it's going to be completely different from what he's played for Liverpool over the last few months. I think he, like towards the latter part of the season, his form has gone a little down, but he's going to play as an attacking midfielder, and that I think is his best position. And for Hungary and for Leipzig in the past also, when he's been constantly at that position, he's been very heavily involved. So I think he will have a good Euro. But other than that, I think they have a solid back five as well. Milos Kerkez, I think, has been pretty impressive for Bournemouth towards the end of the season. Willie Orban, he has that experience. Yeah, I think overall they do have a solid defense. And their setup looks a little different, as you said. The two midfielders, I
yeah.
think,
This
will
is.
be very
I don't think
crucial
they
for them.
play on the ball. This formation, they're pretty much different on the ball.
Yeah, they would change, but off the ball, I think the two midfielders would be very cute. The two central midfielders should be very crucial for them
Yeah.
as well. What do you think?
Yeah, I believe. I think defensively, defense is not their forte. I've never seen them really defend really well. Was it the Portugal game last World Cup or Euros where they were
No,
really
that's.
grinding sort of a result?
I think That's a couple of Euros back, right? The
Okay,
Portugal game.
that's my last
The
memory of
Ronaldo
Hungary.
scores.
But yeah, but again, I really don't believe them as a defensive unit. Never seen on the scoreline as well. But attacking wise, let's see.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think it's more
they
of a
have
three
been
four
that
three rather
pedigree.
than a 5-5-2-2-1. Attacking wise, it's like easily a 3-4-2-1 sort of formation, and they do look to attack. I think Roland Salah has been pretty decent as well for this season, playing for Freiburg, who've also been a good team in the Bundesliga. Roland Salah should also be important for them, and I think
Yeah,
the team is a little set and it's constant. The striker also has had he's played in the Hungarian league, the striker Barca, and he scored 20 goals in 24 matches, which is pretty impressive. So I think their front three do look like players who can be very
combine
attacking
well and
and
like score goals. Yeah,
who can suit your attacking style. And their wing backs also push a lot up. I think Neku and Kurkes are wing backs who join in the attack, who try to get involved, who play in those crosses. So they look a much more attacking setup than what is shown on the screen. But I think yeah, that's where in transition I think their two midfielders will be very key.
yeah. I think coming to the end of Group A, we have sort of differences in terms of who will qualify, which will be very interesting to obviously to watch. But moving from Group A to the supposedly Group of Death, Group B.